cover the world's greatest exercise, Turkish Get Up. Many people really like to do this one, so we wanted to break it down for you. So I'm going to fly through it with minimal instruction, and then I'll do my long talking second. So this is going to make the assumption that you have done kettlebells before and know how to hold it. Lock the shoulder in. The same knee that you're bending. This arm is out, extended. That's one. The stable. Two. Come up to the hand. Shift, keeping your core tight. Mini instructional, so you look at the kettlebell the whole time. I only like to do that when I'm down the bottom. And then here, you should know where your shoulder is without looking at it, is my feeling. And then stand up from that lunge position, and then you reverse all of that. So, back down here, brace as you're moving your center of gravity this way on your hand. Shoot the leg through, brace the core as you go back down. Bring it here, not above the face, and just turn in like that. Okay? So one more time. 1, 2, 3. I don't think it matters which way you do it. If you do the forearm to your hand, or if you shoot this through, either way, you're going to have to brace and have this odd transition. This is the oddest one here for most people. Just doing this. Okay? Onto that knee, shifting there, keeping this stable, and back like that. And return. Okay? So that's Turkish Get Up in a nutshell. There's tons of variations. I've been to a gazillion seminars on them, and I like to make it. The first thing I'll say, going backwards, is that I think a lot of people should not be doing the Turkish Get Up. It's because they want to do it because they've seen it in magazines. This is a great core exercise, but they really should be mastering other things first. I'll have Kelly Ken over there later, but really, the simple movement of a yoga warrior pose, okay, I think is first. People having relatively good shoulder flexion without pain. People with shoulder issues should not go, okay, that's a good core exercise. This is a full body movement. So really you have to have relatively pain-free shoulders to be able to do this. If your shoulder only gets to here and it hurts, you're going to be fine for the first part of the Turkish Get Up here. But then if you get too aggressive with the weight up here, as people do, because that's all that's on YouTube is the most aggressive one, not the little kettlebell I use. If you get to here, what good is that on your floor if your shoulder hurts every time you do it? So, the thing I like to do, whether it's showing a kettlebell snatch, again, more advanced on the hierarchy of lifts for kettlebells, is can you do it with a dumbbell? And so, the kettlebell by its nature, proper grip is here, okay? It's tucked in like that. It's never like this. So it's always pulling away from your center of gravity. So your shoulder strength and stability of your rotator cuff has to be good and pain-free just in this position, okay? So, because people get focused, there's so many things to focus on the Turkish Get Up. I think they need to practice this with just a dumbbell. And then they can be more aggressive with the weight, with something that is directly over your wrist in terms of your center of gravity. It's not pulling you back as aggressively as the kettlebell. Okay? So you get stable with that. You get good. You get really strong with that. And then you can transition to kettlebells. So in a nutshell, I like people need to be able to do a yoga windmill pain-free, that they can do the windmill with the dumbbell, then the kettlebell windmill, okay? Because your feet aren't moving around. So I think that one comes first, then it's Turkish Get Up. I know how to hold a kettlebell, I know how to do a windmill without pain, and holding the kettlebell properly, and then you can do it with a dumbbell, then you do that one. So anyways, that's my little rant on who should and should not do that. But it is a great exercise, but it's always at the expense of your shoulder integrity, or at the testing of your shoulder integrity. You have to have good flexibility and strength before you start doing the full-on circus acts with a girl in your hand, a barbell, and many other cool things that they're cool to watch, but you should not jump to those. And that's it. The only mistakes I'll point out is using too much weight and shifting the arm around on the bottom. Okay? So when people come here, and they're so focused on the weight, and they slide their arm up, and they're moving it around, they should be able to just go right under their forearm. Okay? And then right under their hand. Brace your core throughout. Look up at the beginning. You can keep looking up the whole time, but I mean, really, you should have the kind of shoulder integrity where you don't need to look. Where's my plumb line? You know. So brace your core. And boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's it. Part 2. I just want to break down the armbar portion. Jeff Martone, he's had like, he's a well-known kettlebell guy. He's had like 7 shoulder surgeries, separations, reconstructions, all these things. And in one of the instructionals I have with him, he refers to how, he goes, just doing this alone, somebody with tremendous, with any kind of shoulder issues, is extremely helpful. And I like this a lot, just for warming up. And it's just, they call it an arm bar, like an arm bar, giving your arm in jiu-jitsu. Just turning like that. And again, you can do it with just a dumbbell. Okay? Just this alone, you have to stabilize, pack the shoulder in, and do it however you like, one of 2 ways. Just rolling alone makes you stabilize your shoulder. Okay? And it's going to challenge your rotator cuff the least, okay, before all of that other movement. So here is great. On my worst shoulder days, I can usually do that. And then just here and here. I think that alone is a really good core workout that people do not entertain sometimes as just, you know, a plank, your crunch substitute. This alone, really good. Okay? So that little roll, that arm bar roll, either part way or up to the bridge position where your hip is involved. Okay? So that, and the windmill, with or without a dumbbell, prerequisites before you do the breakdance move of shooting your leg through and standing up. And Kelly can pan here. I stole some shots from the internet. There's a pretty picture of windmill. Looks like Ben Affleck. Doesn't that look like Ben Affleck?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, okay. And then the beginning of the shoulder roll. And then a transition where he brings his leg over. And then this is a shot from a continuum mode. You want to zoom in a little closer. Of how that helps. It says supine, prone, rolling, quadruped, crawling, transitional postures. Most people can walk poorly, run poorly, and most people can roll around. Really, the trick is in the transitional postures, and that's why I think people should be coordinated with it with no weight or a dumbbell first. And then they can go to town. But that's it before you just start doing it because you saw it in XYZ Fitness Magazine, best core exercise ever. Make sure you can do those other things first.